Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract everything they want, while others struggle to see their desires materialize? What if I told you the key to unlocking the universe's response lies within you, not outside? Imagine for a moment that you are not merely a passive observer of life, but the very creator of your own reality. Every desire you have, every outcome you seek, is waiting for you to claim it. But how do you claim it? The secret lies in assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, living in the end, and knowing that everything you experience originates within you. This is not just philosophy, it is a universal law, a truth that governs the world we live in, a truth that I have experienced firsthand. Many years ago, I found myself in a difficult situation. I was struggling financially and emotionally, questioning the very path I was walking. But in the silence of my own thoughts, I discovered a power within me I hadn't known existed, the power to assume the state of my desires. I decided to live as though I had already achieved my desires. I imagined myself successful, prosperous, living in abundance. And without fail, the world around me began to shift. My circumstances, the people I met, and the opportunities that came into my life all conspired to align with my assumption. This was not mere coincidence. It was the law of assumption at work. When you decide to live as though your desires are already realized, the universe must respond. It must bring your desires into being because it responds to the energy of your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs. This is not a theory, it is an experience available to you. But first, you must understand that you are the operant power. The power lies within you, in your ability to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and to persist in that assumption. The power of assumption is the cornerstone of all creation. It is not just a technique or a method, but a universal law that governs how we experience the world. Everything that manifests in the physical realm begins in the realm of consciousness. What you believe and assume to be true becomes your reality. The law of assumption states that by mentally assuming the feeling of a desired state and living in that assumption, you call forth that reality into being. This is not a fleeting concept or wishful thinking. It is the fundamental process by which all things are created. To begin with, it's essential to understand that the world you see is the result of your inner assumptions. You are not merely a passive participant in the unfolding of events. You are the creator. What you assume to be true about yourself and the world around you is reflected back to you in your life. This principle of creation operates whether you are aware of it or not. It is an unconscious law that governs the events, circumstances, and people you encounter. Whether you choose to consciously assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled or not, the law still operates. And it brings into your experience whatever assumptions you hold about yourself and the world. Now, imagine for a moment that you are in complete control of this law. Imagine that every assumption you make about your life is a seed you plant in the soil of your consciousness. And as you water and nurture that seed with consistent belief, it grows and takes form in your external world. This is the power you have. This is the creative power of assumption. If you assume you are not capable of achieving a certain goal, the universe will reflect that assumption back to you. If you assume you are not worthy of love or success, your world will mirror that belief. However, the same law that brings those undesirable experiences into your life can also be used to create the life you desire. It all begins with assumption. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not as something that will happen in the future, but as something that is already present. The key to unlocking this power lies in the present moment. Too often people place their desires in the distant future, waiting for a time when circumstances will be right or they will be in the right place. But this creates a gap between where they are and where they want to be, and it is in that gap that the desire remains elusive. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you collapse that gap. You remove the need for future fulfillment and bring the desired state into your present experience. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled means living and breathing in the state of having already achieved your desires. It means fully embracing the emotions that come with realizing your goals, not as something that might happen someday, but as something that is already true for you. For instance, if you wish to be financially abundant, you must not wait until the money physically appears in your life. Instead, you must assume the feeling of being abundant right now. Feel what it would feel like to have all the wealth you desire. Imagine yourself living that life, experiencing it in every detail, and emotionally embodying that reality. In this state of assumption, the universe has no choice but to respond by bringing circumstances, events, and opportunities that align with your new reality. This is where the power of persistence comes in. It is not enough to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled once and then forget about it. To see your assumptions manifest, you must persist in them, living them consistently, day in and day out. The longer you persist in your assumption, the more firmly it takes root in your consciousness. It becomes part of your belief system, and once that happens, the universe must adjust to match that new belief. To fully grasp the power of assumption, it is essential to realize that it is not merely about positive thinking or hopefulness. It is about embodying the state of your desire as though it already exists. This is not a fleeting wish. It is a deep conviction that the thing you desire is already yours. Your assumption is not just a thought you hold. It is an emotional and energetic alignment with the state of your desire. It is a way of being rather than a way of thinking. This is why assumption works so powerfully, because it aligns not only the mind but the emotions and the energy with the desired state. You are not simply visualizing something you want. You are emotionally and energetically becoming that thing in the present moment. This assumption is not a one-time mental exercise. It requires your full engagement, your full participation in the experience of the desired outcome. It is about living as if it is already real. For instance, if you desire to be healthy, you must assume the feeling of perfect health. This means you do not wait for your physical body to change before feeling healthy. You must assume that you are already in a state of perfect health, and that assumption must be maintained persistently. The creative power of assumption works through the law of vibration. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you vibrate at the frequency of that desire. The universe responds to the frequency you are emitting. As you live in the feeling of having your desire now, you raise your vibration to match the reality you wish to create, and the universe must respond by bringing your desired circumstances into being. It is crucial to understand that the law of assumption is not about controlling external circumstances or manipulating the world around you. Rather, it is about changing your internal state, your beliefs, your thoughts, and your feelings, so that they align with the reality you wish to create. When you align yourself internally with your desires, you automatically bring those desires into your external world. This alignment is the key. The law of assumption is a law of creation. By assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are participating in the creative process of the universe. It is a powerful act of creation that begins with you. When you assume the feeling of your desire as if it is already fulfilled, the universe must respond. It has no other choice but to bring that assumed reality into physical form. The moment you make the assumption, you initiate a process that brings your desires to fruition. Therefore, remember that your assumptions are not merely thoughts or wishes. They are the very building blocks of your reality. What you assume, you create, and the more consistently you live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the sooner your desires will materialize. The power of imagination is the key to unlocking your desires. Imagination is not a mere tool to help pass the time or a form of daydreaming that takes you away from reality. No, imagination is the creative force through which all things are brought into existence. Everything in your life, everything you see, hear, and experience is the result of what you have imagined and accepted as possible. The physical world is merely a reflection of your inner world, and your imagination is the gateway to creating a new and more fulfilling external reality. When you consciously use your imagination to picture the life you desire, you are not merely fantasizing or escaping from your current circumstances. Instead, you are aligning yourself with the creative force of the universe. Imagination is not separate from reality, it is the very means through which reality is formed. The world around you is a projection of your inner state, and the quality of your imagination directly impacts the quality of your external life. What you imagine and believe is not merely a product of your mind, it is a blueprint that the universe uses to construct your experiences. In order to manifest your desires, you must first imagine them as already being real. The key is to imagine not from the standpoint of wanting, but from the standpoint of having. This means that when you imagine your desires, you must see them as already fulfilled, not as something distant or out of reach. The act of imagining a desired state is the first step in bringing it into your physical reality. However, imagining is not enough on its own. It must be accompanied by a deep and unwavering belief that what you are imagining is already true. Without this belief, the imagination remains a fantasy rather than a powerful force for creation. It is not enough to imagine in a passive way, allowing the mind to wander aimlessly. To truly harness the power of imagination, you must be intentional with it. You must direct your imagination toward your desired outcome and persist in that image, refusing to entertain any thoughts or beliefs that contradict it. When you imagine, you must feel the emotions of the desired state as if it is already your present experience. This is not a mental exercise, but an emotional and energetic alignment with your desires. The feeling you attach to your imagination is what gives it power. The more vividly and emotionally you imagine your desires, the stronger the pull they will have on your external world. Imagination is not confined to the realm of the mind alone. It is an energetic force that shapes the very fabric of reality. When you imagine a particular outcome, you are sending out a signal into the universe that says, "This is my reality." The universe in turn responds by bringing you the people, circumstances, and opportunities that align with that imagined reality. The images you hold in your mind and the emotions you attach to them act like a magnetic force that draws your desires closer to you. This is why it is so important to imagine your desires with clarity and certainty. If your imagination is scattered and unfocused, it will produce equally scattered and unfocused results in your life. The universe operates in harmony with the energy you send out, and that energy must be consistent and clear. Therefore, when you imagine, be specific about what you want and see it as already achieved. The more specific you are in your imagining, the more specific the universe will be in responding. One of the greatest misconceptions about imagination is that it is a tool reserved for dreaming of unattainable things. Many people believe that imagination is only for children or for those who wish to escape their current reality. However, imagination is the most powerful tool at your disposal for transforming your life. It is the bridge between your current reality and the one you desire. It is the medium through which your desires are shaped and brought into the physical world. Far from being an escape, imagination is the very act of creating. Imagination is not bound by time or space. It transcends the limitations of the physical world. When you imagine your desired state, you are tapping into a higher reality, one that exists beyond the physical senses. This is why it is so important to imagine not from a place of lack or limitation, but from a place of fullness and abundance. The moment you imagine something as already being true, it is no longer a desire, it is a reality. The key is to stay in that imagined reality, consistently maintaining the feeling of already having what you desire. The more you persist in this imagined state, the more it solidifies in your external world. You must also understand that your imagination does not need to be confined to one particular area of life. It can and should be used to create every aspect of your experience, from relationships to career to health and happiness. There is no area of life that imagination cannot touch and transform. The world you live in is the result of the cumulative effect of your imaginative acts. Whether you are consciously aware of it or not, your imagination is shaping your reality. The thoughts and images you hold in your mind are constantly at work, creating your experience. Therefore, it is essential to be mindful of what you are imagining and to consciously choose the images that align with the life you want to create. When you imagine, you are not simply wishing for something to happen. You are engaging in the act of creation. Your imagination is the very substance from which the world is made. It is the creative energy that flows from within you and shapes the external reality you experience. The moment you begin to imagine your desires as already fulfilled, you are stepping into the role of creator. This is the transformative power of imagination, the ability to shape your world from the inside out. The more vividly and persistently you imagine, the more the universe responds. Imagination is not just a passive experience, it is an active, dynamic force that brings your desires into manifestation. By imagining your desires as already real, you are aligning yourself with the universal flow of creation. You are tapping into the very fabric of reality itself, directing it toward your goals, and bringing your dreams into the physical world. Your imagination is your greatest asset in the process of creation. It is the tool through which all things are brought into existence. Through imagination, you create the world around you, and through imagination, you transform it. The more consciously and consistently you use your imagination, the more powerfully it will shape your reality. The world you experience today is the direct result of the images and feelings you have held in your mind. By changing the images you hold, you can change your world. The power of imagination is limitless, and when you tap into it, there is no limit to what you can create. The principle of persistence is often the defining factor in whether desires manifest into reality or remain elusive. It is one thing to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled once, but it is an entirely different matter to maintain that assumption consistently over time. The power of persistence lies in its ability to solidify the new reality you are creating. It is not enough to entertain the thought of what you want for a moment and then let it slip into the background of your mind. For creation to take place, you must live and breathe as though your desire has already been realized. This requires a deep, unwavering persistence in maintaining the feeling and belief that your desire is already a part of your experience. The process of creation is not a one-time event. It is a continuous, ongoing act of faith and belief. The universe responds to the consistency and strength of your assumption. It is not the fleeting moments of doubt or indecision that shape your reality, but the persistent assumption of your desire as already fulfilled. The law operates according to the energy you project, and that energy must be steady and persistent if you are to see the results you seek. Doubt, hesitation, and uncertainty are the forces that delay or hinder the manifestation of your desires. On the other hand, when you persist in your assumption, despite external circumstances or temporary doubts, you create an inner certainty that aligns with the universal flow of creation. Persistence is the key to overcoming the resistance that often appears when you begin to work with the law of assumption. In the beginning, it is natural to experience doubts or feelings of resistance. The world you are attempting to create is new and unfamiliar, and your old beliefs and habits may fight against this new assumption. This is where persistence becomes crucial. As you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the resistance begins to break down. Your new belief system starts to take root and solidify. The more you consistently embody your desired state, the more the external world must conform to this new internal state. The challenge that many face in creating their desired reality is that they expect immediate results. They may assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled for a few days, and if they don't see results right away, they begin to question whether the process is working. However, true persistence does not waver when immediate results are not visible. It is an unwavering belief in the eventual fulfillment of the desire, regardless of the time it takes for it to materialize. It is understanding that the physical world must align with the internal world you have created, and that this alignment takes time. The moment you question or doubt the process, you weaken the assumption and delay its manifestation. Persistence means holding fast to your vision and continuing to live as though your desire is already true, even when there is no outward evidence to support it. Persistence is not a passive waiting game, it is an active state of living from the end, fully immersed in the assumption that your desire is already a part of your life. You are not waiting for the physical evidence to appear before you feel good. You are already living in the feeling of that fulfillment now. It is this feeling that generates the energy necessary for the universe to respond. When you persist in the feeling of your desire being fulfilled, you are creating a vibration that resonates with the universe's creative forces. The more you embody that vibration, the more the universe responds by bringing your desire into reality. You must also understand that persistence is a form of discipline. It is not always easy to maintain the assumption of your desired state, especially when faced with contrary circumstances. However, the more you practice persistence, the stronger your belief in your desired reality becomes. Just as a muscle grows stronger through repeated use, your creative power becomes stronger the more you persist in your assumption. It is this disciplined focus on your desired outcome that brings the greatest results. The persistence required to manifest your desires is rooted in the belief that your desires are already fulfilled. It is not enough to imagine your desire for a few moments and then dismiss it. You must maintain that vision, hold on to that belief, and feel the emotions of having already received your desire every single day. This requires patience and unwavering trust in the process. The universe is always responding, but it does so in its own time. And your persistence is the key that unlocks the door to your manifestation. There will be moments of doubt, moments when it seems as though your desire is far out of reach. But it is in those moments that persistence becomes even more critical. It is easy to persist when everything is going well and the signs of progress are evident. However, true persistence is demonstrated in the face of adversity, when it seems as though everything is going wrong. This is the moment when you must remind yourself of your power and remain unwavering in your assumption. Doubt and external circumstances are simply tests of your faith. If you hold firm to your assumption and continue to live as though your desire is already fulfilled, the universe must respond by bringing that reality into being. The importance of persistence cannot be overstated. It is what allows your assumption to fully take root in your subconscious mind, where it can influence the creation of your outer world. Without persistence, the desire may remain a fleeting thought or wish, never fully anchored in your consciousness. When you persist, you are demonstrating your complete belief in the law of assumption and your trust in the process of creation. This trust and belief are what ultimately allow your desires to manifest in physical form. In the process of persistence, you must also be aware of the mental and emotional patterns you are holding. If you continue to persist in a belief that your desire is already fulfilled, yet still entertain thoughts of doubt, fear, or disbelief, these conflicting energies will delay the manifestation. True persistence involves not only the conscious assumption of your desire, but also the emotional alignment with that assumption. Your emotions must mirror the belief that your desire is already realized. As you persist in this alignment, your reality must begin to shift to match your inner state. Persistence is the bridge between the inner world of assumption and the outer world of manifestation. It is the unyielding belief that your desire is already true, regardless of any evidence to the contrary. The more you persist, the more you strengthen the creative forces within you. Through persistence, you create a strong, unwavering foundation upon which your desires can be built. The universe must align with your assumption, and it does so through your persistent belief and emotional commitment to your desired reality. Therefore, never underestimate the power of persistence in the creative process. It is the force that makes all things possible. The concept of self-concept is foundational to understanding the process of creation and manifestation. It is the lens through which you view the world, the foundation upon which your beliefs and assumptions are built. The way you see yourself dictates the way you interact with the world, and more importantly, it determines the reality you create. Your self-concept is not just the sum of your thoughts and ideas about yourself. It is a deep underlying belief system that governs your actions, your emotions, and your experiences. The world you experience is a reflection of how you view yourself, and this is why altering your self-concept can be the key to unlocking new possibilities in your life. Every individual holds an image of themselves in their mind, a self-portrait formed by their beliefs, experiences, and conditioning. This image acts as a filter through which all experiences are perceived. If you see yourself as limited, unworthy, or incapable, those beliefs will manifest in your life as limitations and obstacles. However, if you see yourself as capable, deserving, and powerful, you will attract experiences that mirror those beliefs. Therefore, the first step in creating a new reality is to shift your self-concept, to see yourself differently, to elevate your sense of self-worth, and to embrace the belief that you are the creator of your own reality. To change your life, you must first change the way you see yourself. This is not about simply thinking positive thoughts about yourself or engaging in shallow affirmations. It is about completely shifting your perception of who you are at a deep subconscious level. Your self-concept is not merely a set of beliefs. It is an energetic force that shapes your reality. The image you hold of yourself is the template that the universe uses to bring experiences into your life. This means that by altering your self-concept, you can alter the course of your entire life. The process of changing your self-concept begins with awareness. You must first become aware of the beliefs and assumptions you hold about yourself. These beliefs are often so ingrained in your subconscious mind that they operate on autopilot, influencing your decisions, your actions, and your interactions with the world. However, the moment you become aware of these beliefs, you gain the power to change them. Awareness is the first step in transformation. Once you recognize the limitations you have placed on yourself, you can begin to question and challenge them. The next step is to redefine who you are. This involves creating a new self-image, one that aligns with the life you wish to create. Your self-concept is malleable and it can be reshaped to reflect the person you want to become. This new self-image should be rooted in the belief that you are worthy of success, love, abundance, and happiness. It should reflect the truth that you are not limited by your past experiences, your current circumstances, or the opinions of others. You are a powerful being with the ability to shape your own reality. The more you consistently hold this new self-image in your mind, the more it becomes your reality. To effectively change your self-concept, you must begin to embody the qualities and characteristics of the person you wish to become. This means acting as though you already are the person you envision. It is not enough to merely think about the person you want to become. You must step into that identity and live as though it is already true. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and the way you interact with others must all align with your new self-image. The more you live as the person you are becoming, the more that self-image becomes ingrained in your subconscious mind. Over time, this new self-concept will become second nature, and your external world will begin to reflect the changes you have made internally. One of the most powerful ways to reinforce your new self-concept is through visualization. By vividly imagining yourself as the person you wish to become, you strengthen the belief that this version of you is already real. Visualization is not just about seeing yourself in your mind's eye. It is about emotionally embodying the experience of already being that person. As you visualize, engage all of your senses. Feel the emotions of success, fulfillment, and happiness as though they are already present in your life. This emotional engagement is what brings the visualization to life and imprints it on your subconscious mind. The more often you visualize yourself as the person you wish to be, the stronger your new self-concept becomes. Another powerful tool in changing your self-concept is affirmations. However, affirmations are not simply empty statements of positivity. They must be statements that you truly believe, that resonate with your inner being. When you affirm your new self-concept, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind to accept this new version of you as truth. Affirmations should be in the present tense, as though you are already embodying the traits and qualities of your ideal self. For example, instead of saying, "I will be successful," say, "I am successful." This shifts the energy from a place of lack to a place of abundance, reinforcing the belief that your desired self is already within you. It is important to remember that changing your self-concept is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process that requires consistent effort and practice. The more you focus on your new self-opinion, the more it becomes your reality. Just as you have spent years building the self-concept you currently have, it will take time and persistence to create a new one. However, with patience and dedication, you will begin to notice shifts in your life that reflect your new self-image. You will find that opportunities flow more easily, that your relationships improve, and that you are able to navigate challenges with greater confidence and resilience. The power of self-concept extends beyond just creating material wealth or success. It also influences your relationships, your health, and your overall experience of life. The way you see yourself determines how others see you, and it also determines how you show up in the world. If you see yourself as worthy of love and respect, others will naturally treat you with love and respect. If you see yourself as capable and competent, you will attract opportunities that reflect those qualities. Your self-concept is the lens through which the world sees you, and by shifting this lens, you can transform the way the world responds to you. Ultimately, your self-concept is the foundation of your life's creation. It is the starting point from which all manifestation flows. By changing the way you see yourself, you change the way you experience the world. Your self-image shapes your reality, and by consciously crafting a new self-concept, you create the space for new opportunities, greater fulfillment, and a life that aligns with your true potential. Through awareness, visualization, affirmation, and consistent action, you can transform your self-concept, and in doing so, transform your entire life. The key to unlocking your true power lies in the image you hold of yourself. And once you realize that you have the ability to shape that image, you open the door to endless possibilities. The concept of the law of assumption operates on the understanding that whatever you assume to be true, whether it be for good or ill, must manifest in your reality. This law, simple in its nature, is deeply profound in its power. It asserts that the external world reflects the internal beliefs and assumptions that you hold about yourself, your circumstances, and the world around you. What you assume about your life shapes what you experience in the physical world. This means that the key to transforming your external reality lies in transforming your inner assumptions. The assumption of your desired state is the most powerful tool you have for changing your life. To fully understand the law of assumption, it is essential to grasp that your thoughts and beliefs are not merely abstract or intangible, they are active forces that shape your reality. Each assumption you hold sends a signal to the universe, directing the flow of events and circumstances in your life. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, responds to the signals you send out, bringing into your experience the people, situations, and opportunities that align with your assumption. In this way, you become the creator of your own experience, the architect of your reality, by the assumptions you consciously or unconsciously make. One of the most powerful aspects of the law of assumption is that it requires you to live in the feeling of your desire as if it is already fulfilled. It is not enough to simply wish for something or to visualize it from the perspective of wanting. The key to manifestation is to assume that the thing you desire is already yours. This is where many people struggle. They may visualize their desires, but they do so from a place of lack, believing that what they desired is something distant or outside of themselves. The law of assumption, however, calls for a different approach. It requires that you shift your perception and assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you do this, you are aligning yourself with the vibrational frequency of the desire, allowing it to manifest effortlessly. The power of assumption lies not just in the thought itself, but in the emotional and psychological alignment with that thought. Assumption is not a passive act. It requires that you embody the belief that your desire is already realized. You must feel the emotions that would accompany the fulfillment of that desire. Whether it is joy, peace, gratitude, or excitement. These emotions serve as a signal to the universe, reinforcing your assumption and drawing your desire closer to you. It is not enough to simply think about what you want. You must feel it, live it, and experience it in your imagination as though it is already true. Another crucial element of the law of assumption is persistence. It is not enough to make an assumption once and expect it to manifest immediately. The assumption must be held consistently regardless of external circumstances. The world may not immediately reflect your assumptions, and doubt or resistance may arise. However, the law of assumption teaches that persistence is key. The more you persist in assuming the feeling of your desire is already fulfilled, the more the universe must align with your assumption and bring it into being. Doubt and disbelief are natural responses to any change, but they must not deter you from continuing to live in the assumption of your desired reality. The persistence in assuming that your desire is already fulfilled strengthens your belief and makes it more real in your experience. When you consciously and consistently assume your desires are already fulfilled, you begin to reshape your internal world. The power of assumption works by reprogramming the subconscious mind, which is the driving force behind your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Most people live their lives under the influence of deeply ingrained beliefs about themselves and the world, many of which are formed from past experiences or societal conditioning. These beliefs shape your perceptions and influence the way you respond to challenges and opportunities. The law of assumption allows you to break free from these limiting beliefs by choosing new assumptions that align with your desires. Your assumption is not a passive wish or desire. It is a belief held with conviction and emotional intensity. This belief must be stronger than any contrary evidence that may arise in your external world. The law of assumption teaches that the world must conform to your beliefs. This is why it is important to align yourself fully with your assumption, not just mentally, but emotionally as well. The more you embody your assumption, the more your external circumstances will shift to match it. It is not about forcing the world to change. It is about aligning yourself with the reality you wish to experience. By changing your internal assumptions, you automatically change the external reality. One of the most powerful ways to reinforce the law of assumption is through the practice of mental rehearsal or visualization. Visualization allows you to imagine your desire as already fulfilled, vividly experiencing the feelings and emotions associated with that fulfillment. This practice is more than just a mental exercise. It is an act of creation. When you visualize yourself as the person you want to become or already being in possession of your desire, you are sending a clear signal to the universe. This signal serves to activate the creative forces that align with your assumption, bringing it into your reality. Mental rehearsal allows you to embody your desired state even before it manifests in the physical world, thus strengthening the assumption that it is already true. The law of assumption also teaches that you must be vigilant about your thoughts. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking contrary to your desired reality. External circumstances, opinions of others, or negative past experiences can cause doubt and fear. However, the law of assumption teaches that these thoughts must be consciously corrected. When you notice a thought that contradicts your assumption, you must immediately replace it with a thought that aligns with your desired outcome. This requires discipline and awareness, But over time, you will find that your assumptions become stronger and more consistent. The more you consciously choose your thoughts and align them with your desires, the faster your reality begins to shift. Ultimately, the law of assumption teaches that the key to creating your desired reality lies in your ability to believe that it is already true. The more consistently you assume that your desire is already fulfilled, the more the universe must respond by bringing that desire into being. The law of assumption does not rely on external validation or evidence to prove that your desires are possible. It requires only your unwavering belief in the truth of your assumption. The external world, as a reflection of your inner state, must conform to your beliefs. As you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption, you will begin to see the world change to reflect that assumption. The law of assumption is not a passive force. It is an active, creative power that, when properly understood and applied, allows you to manifest your desires and shape your reality. The concept of imagination as a creative force is one of the most powerful and transformative tools at your disposal. Imagination is not simply a passive, idle daydreaming. It is a dynamic and potent tool that shapes your reality. The faculty of imagination allows you to transcend the limitations of the physical world. It is within the power of your imagination that you can mold and sculpt your desires, bringing them into being through the act of assumption. When you consciously direct your imagination, you activate the creative forces within you, causing the outer world to reflect your inner vision. Imagination is the means by which you create mental images of the future, and these images serve as the blueprint for what you wish to experience. The mind is a fertile ground where thoughts and beliefs take root, and imagination is the seed that allows them to grow. When you engage your imagination, you are essentially planting a seed for your desires to take form in the physical world. The key lies not only in creating these mental images, but also in fully embodying the feeling of already having achieved your goal. The emotional experience that accompanies your imagination is what gives life to the image, transforming it from a mere thought into a tangible, real possibility. In order to utilize imagination effectively, it is essential to recognize its power in the creation process. Often, people view imagination as something disconnected from reality, something that exists solely in the realm of fantasy or wishful thinking. However, imagination is not bound by the limits of physical experience. It operates in a realm where all things are possible, and it is in this realm that you can begin to shape your desires. The key to using imagination as a creative tool is to immerse yourself in the feeling of the fulfillment of your desire as though it is already real. The more vividly you imagine your goal, the more you align your mind and emotions with that goal, and the more the universe responds to bring that reality into being. It is not enough to merely visualize your desires. You must feel the emotions of already having achieved them. The emotions associated with the fulfillment of your desires are the magnetic force that attracts those desires to you. When you use your imagination, you must involve all of your senses and immerse yourself in the experience of having already attained your goal. The stronger and more vivid the emotional experience, the more real and powerful the image becomes in your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, which is responsible for creating your reality, responds to the emotional charge that accompanies the mental image. This emotional charge is what makes the image real to the subconscious and activates the forces necessary for manifestation. Imagination is also the key to transcending the limitations of time and space. The physical world operates under a set of rules and laws that may seem fixed and unchangeable. However, the power of imagination allows you to step outside of these constraints and enter a world where time and space are malleable. Through imagination, you can assume the feeling of your desire as already fulfilled, regardless of the physical circumstances. By entering this mental state, you are creating a new reality in your mind, one that will eventually materialize in the external world. Imagination allows you to bypass the limitations of the current moment and live in the end result, bringing the manifestation into being by aligning with the emotional and mental state of fulfillment. The imagination can also serve as a means of reprogramming the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind accepts whatever is impressed upon it, and it does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. When you consistently use your imagination to visualize your desires, you are impressing the subconscious with the image of success, wealth, health, or whatever it is you seek. Over time, the subconscious mind absorbs this new belief and begins to manifest it in the physical world. This is why it is crucial to persist in imagining your desires as already fulfilled, for the subconscious mind responds to repetition. The more frequently you engage your imagination and immerse yourself in the feeling of having already achieved your goal, the more entrenched that belief becomes within your subconscious. The process of imagination involves more than just creating a mental picture. It is a dynamic engagement with your desires. When you imagine, you are actively creating a bridge between the inner and outer worlds. The inner world, which consists of your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, creates the outer world, which consists of the physical manifestations of those inner states. Imagination allows you to align your inner world with your desired reality, creating a mental and emotional environment that supports the fulfillment of your goals. As you consistently engage your imagination and embody the feelings of success, you send out a powerful signal to the universe, one that attracts experiences and circumstances that match your inner vision. To fully harness the power of imagination, it is important to practice it with intention and focus. This is not a casual exercise, but a deliberate act of creation. Each time you imagine, you are imprinting a new belief, a new reality into your subconscious mind. The more focused and intense your imagination, the more powerful the results. Distraction or doubt will weaken the creative process, so it is essential to engage with your imagination fully and wholeheartedly. When you engage your imagination with passion and conviction, you are setting the stage for the universe to respond and manifest your desires. It is also important to understand that imagination works in harmony with other mental faculties, such as belief and assumption. Imagination is the canvas on which you paint the picture of your desired reality, but it is the belief that the picture is already true that gives the image life. Belief is the fuel that propels the imaginative act forward, turning it from a simple thought into a reality. The more you believe in the power of your imagination and trust that your desires are already fulfilled, the more quickly they will manifest in your experience. Imagination is a creative force, and like all creative forces, it requires discipline and practice to master. The more you engage with your imagination and develop your ability to vividly imagine your desires, the stronger and more effective it becomes. Over time, you will find that your ability to create and manifest through imagination becomes second nature. The more you use your imagination to visualize and embody your desires, the more they will materialize. The power of imagination is not limited to just one area of life. It can be applied to every aspect of your existence, from your career to your relationships, from your health to your finances. No matter what you desire, your imagination is the tool through which you bring it into existence. The world responds to your inner state, and by using your imagination to shape that state, you shape your reality. Through imagination, you can tap into the infinite possibilities of the universe and bring your desires into physical form, allowing the external world to reflect the beauty and abundance you create within. The power of faith is deeply connected to the understanding that what you believe to be true will manifest in your life. Faith in this context is not limited to religious or spiritual beliefs, but is a mental attitude that shapes the course of your experiences. It is the belief in the unseen, the trust in the invisible forces that govern your life. Faith is the bridge between desire and manifestation. It is through faith that you tap into the unseen world of possibilities, and it is through this faith that the unseen becomes seen. Faith is not merely a passive state, it is an active force that guides you to act in alignment with your desires, knowing that they are already fulfilled in the invisible realm. Faith works by changing the way you perceive your current circumstances. It allows you to transcend the limitations of the present moment and step into the reality of what you wish to create. When you have faith, you no longer focus on the obstacles or challenges in front of you. Instead, you focus on the end result, the outcome that you desire. Your faith becomes the driving force behind your actions and decisions. It is the unwavering belief that what you desire is already on its way, even if there is no physical evidence to support it in the moment. The key to faith is the ability to trust in the process of creation. This means understanding that all things are created first in the mind before they manifest in the physical world. The external world is simply a reflection of your inner state. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions create the conditions for your desires to take shape. Faith is the trust that this creative process is working, even when there is no visible sign of progress. It is a deep belief that everything is unfolding according to your inner vision, regardless of external circumstances. Faith is also the ability to remain steadfast in your belief, even in the face of doubt or opposition. The mind is a powerful tool, and it is easy to be swayed by external conditions or negative thoughts that arise. However, faith teaches you to stay focused on your desired outcome and to trust in the unseen forces that are at work. When you hold a belief in the unseen, you are aligning with the infinite creative power that is always available to you. It is this faith that attracts the conditions necessary for your desires to manifest. Without faith, you cannot create, for it is the belief in your desired outcome that empowers the creative process. Faith is not simply about wishing for something to happen or hoping for a better future. It is about embodying the belief that your desires are already fulfilled. The more deeply you believe in the truth of your desires, the more powerfully they will manifest in your life. Faith is the assurance that your desires are already yours, and it is this unwavering belief that allows them to become your reality. When you have faith in your desires, you are not simply waiting for them to happen. You are actively creating them by living in the assumption that they are already true. One of the most important aspects of faith is the ability to feel the emotions associated with your desires as though they are already fulfilled. The key to manifestation is to feel as if your desire is already a reality. The emotions that accompany your desires are the energetic charge that activates the creative process. When you feel the emotions of success, abundance, or happiness, you are aligning your vibration with the fulfillment of your desires. This emotional alignment is what signals to the universe that you are ready to receive what you have imagined. Faith also requires patience. In a world that often demands immediate results, it can be difficult to remain steadfast in your belief that your desires are already on their way. However, faith teaches you to trust in the timing of the universe. The manifestation of your desires may not occur immediately, but this should not cause doubt. The process of creation takes time, and every step along the way is leading you to the fulfillment of your goals. Patience is an essential component of faith, for it allows you to remain aligned with your desired outcome, even when there is no immediate evidence of progress. The longer you hold faith in your desires, the more firmly they will take root in your experience. To cultivate faith, it is essential to practice daily mental discipline. This means consistently aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions with your desired outcome. It is easy to be distracted by the external world, but true faith requires that you remain focused on the end result. This focus allows you to stay connected to the unseen forces that are working in your favor. By consciously directing your thoughts and emotions toward your desires, you strengthen your faith and empower the creative process. The more you practice this daily discipline, the more your faith will grow, and the more easily you will be able to manifest your desires. Faith is also about understanding that everything in your life is a reflection of your inner state. Your beliefs, assumptions, and emotions create the world around you. When you have faith in your desires, you are aligning yourself with the creative forces of the universe, and your outer world will begin to reflect that faith. The people, circumstances, and opportunities you encounter will align with your inner belief in the fulfillment of your desires. This is the power of faith. It transforms your inner reality and in doing so transforms your external world. Faith is not just about believing in something outside of yourself. It is about believing in your own ability to create and shape your reality. When you have faith in yourself, you tap into the infinite potential that exists within you. You begin to trust in your ability to manifest your desires, knowing that you are an active participant in the creative process. This self-belief empowers you to take inspired action toward your goals, knowing that everything is working in your favor. Faith in yourself is the foundation of all creation, for it is through this belief that you open the door to infinite possibilities. The power of faith is limitless. It is the key to creating the life you desire, for when you have faith, you are activating the creative forces that bring your desires into being. Faith allows you to transcend the limitations of the physical world and tap into the infinite realm of possibilities. It is through faith that you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the fulfillment of your desires. And it is this alignment that brings them into reality. The power of faith is not just in believing, but in knowing that what you desire is already yours. And it is this knowing that activates the creative process, bringing your desires into manifestation. Through faith, you unlock the door to the life you have always dreamed of. And it is only through this faith that you can truly create the reality you wish to experience. The essence of all these principles revolves around the idea that you are the creator of your reality, and every element of your life is shaped by the assumptions, beliefs, imagination, faith, and persistent thoughts you hold. It is through the power of assumption that you align yourself with your desires, fully embodying the feeling of the wish fulfilled and sending out a vibrational signal to the universe that brings it into existence. Imagination serves as the mental tool to create the blueprint of your desires, while faith becomes the unwavering belief that those desires are already a part of your reality even before they manifest in the physical world. The law of assumption, combined with imagination, teaches us that we must live as though what we desire is already ours. And faith strengthens this belief by keeping us steadfast and persistent, regardless of external circumstances. In doing so, we are able to reshape our inner world, which in turn transforms our outer reality. This alignment between thought, feeling, and belief creates a harmonious flow that accelerates the process of manifestation, turning the intangible into tangible experiences. Patience, emotional embodiment, and mental discipline are critical to the process. When we trust in the creative power within us, and persist in living in the end result of our desires, the universe responds to our inner vision. The world we see around us is merely a reflection of what we have created in our minds, and the more consciously we direct our thoughts, emotions, and actions, the more quickly we will experience the life we envision. Ultimately, the greatest power lies within you. Your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions are the keys to unlocking the life you desire. By embracing the law of assumption, imagination, and faith, and by understanding that your inner world creates your outer world, you gain control over your destiny and begin to shape a reality that aligns with your highest desires. The universe is always responding to the signals you send out, and by aligning with the creative power within you, you can manifest your deepest desires and live a life that is a true reflection of your inner vision.